So you've now seen the process for creating a dress from scratch, applying it to a custom avatar, and you've then posed that avatar, which in turn has posed the dress with all the correct creases and folds and wrinkles. You've then been shown how to export that as an OBJ, and then you can take it into any other application you want for rendering out into your illustration. But with that said, there are still a few areas of Marvelous Designer that I wanted to share and show. These are things which we either touched very slightly upon earlier in the tutorial, or just new things that I think it's good that you know about because they may come in useful for future projects. So in this video, we're just going to look at wind and also a little bit more about the pressure preferences. So let's start off with wind. I'm just going to click and just create a basic square. What we're going to do now is use wind to simulate this as a flag. Now, for this to be a good flag, we just need to pin one end, and we had a look at pinning earlier. We select that. We select the box pinning option there, and you can use lasso pinning if you want, and we're just going to drag in here and pin these vertices down here. Now if you run the simulation now, it's just going to drop like so. Nothing great about that. So what we're going to do is go up to Display, Show Wind Controller. Let's see where that is. Going to move this over here so we can see it and see the flag. Now by default this is set to planar, and you get a cone sort of effect, and this is showing the direction the wind is blowing in. So if we activate that and then we run the simulation, you can see the wind is now blowing the flag. So it's just a nice little effect. Now you could turn the turbulence down if you don't want any, so we could turn that off, and it's just going to give more of a linear, a constant stream of wind. But the turbulence makes it look a bit more interesting. And we can rotate this, and as you can see, the garment is blowing the direction the wind is indicating. And spherical is more of an overall wind rather than in a certain direction. So let's turn up the strength a little bit, just blow that a little bit more. As you can see there, those pins are just helping to keep that locked into place. Let's turn it back to planar. It's maybe a bit too drastic. Maybe drop that down like so. But there, just applying that wind into the scene, we've given ourselves a flag, and we could export that as an animation and take it into another application and have that nice simulated flag. Let's drop the turbulence down a little bit. But you can play around with all these options and get the exact look you want. Now if your character is wearing a dress and she's outside in a storm and you need to simulate the wind blowing on the garment as she's standing there, then you have this option in there as well. So as the dress is being simulated on the body, you've also got the wind blowing on the dress. So that's just very quickly introducing wind. So let's turn that off. Let's delete this and let's start again. Display. Let's hide the wind. What I'm going to do now is just create another cube, but this time I'm going to copy and paste and just create 4, like so. And I'm just going to rotate these around, sort of like a diamond shape. Let's reset that, that's it. Now I'm going to use pins again, but I'm just going to pin the corners for now. Now I'm just doing this very quickly, so normally I'd go in and pin just the corner ones that I wanted. I may have a few stray ones in here, but it doesn't really matter. and then I'm going to stitch these together. So in effect, we've got one garment made up of 4 patterns. So if we simulate this now, it's just going to sag. There's not really much going on here. But what we can do is we select these, we go into the property editor, and down here we have pressure. And we can turn this by turning this up. I think I missed some pins in the middle there. Yep. So let's just select those. So as you can see, turning that pressure up, and you've got this sort of effect now. I mean, obviously we can have the pressure reversed. But what you've got there is, if we turn it around like so, if you repeat this pattern over and over, you can create a covering for a sofa. So you get that sort of leather sort of effect. And in here you could build 3D models of studs that are in there, and you could also have those, bring those in as a avatar so that this collides with them as well. This could also be a pattern for a puffer jacket. So you build up these sections here, sew them all together, and then use pressure to puff up the patches of the puffer jacket. So again, just like the wind, it's just a simple little tool, but I think it's important that you know about it so that if you're planning future projects, you can think, oh, I can build that in Marvelous Designer. I could build that sofa in Marvelous Designer quite easily and get that puff effect using pressure. Or I could take a character and have her out in the rain, and we can use the wind to blow the dress so it's billowing behind her. So again, they're just a couple of little tools that I just wanted to share and demonstrate, just so you're aware of them. So that's those covered. What we're going to do now is we'll look at some other stuff in the next video, including bringing animation into Marvelous Designer and also being able to export it.